So if you're in business, if you are in real estate or sales, if you work at McDonald's, you're going to want to hear this. I hope you are well. I am here coming on my live this morning, and I wanted to send you a nice little message. Cheers. Hopefully you're having your coffee with me. If you're joining me for the first time, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell to get notified the next time I'm doing a video. And make sure to like, comment, and dislike if you dislike it or whatnot. And if you love what you hear here, if this brings you value, or any other one of my videos brings you value, make sure to share it. Share it with your people on all your social media platforms. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I see a lot of you are on here right now. Thank you so much. Great to see you this morning. I am excited because the subject matter is, I think you're going to resonate with it. This is a question that I get a lot. It's all about, hey, should I quit my day job? So if you're in business, if you are in real estate or sales, if you work at McDonald's, you're going to want to hear this. You're going to want to hear this. Let's go live into Facebook as well. Let me write here the post. Hold on a second. How do I do this? Okay, add description. Don't quit your day job. All right, all right. All right, don't quit your, I always get confused with those. So let's see what we got going on here. Let's go live. Going live into Facebook as well. So I'm here with you. I am here also with my friends on my Facebook page, my business page, my personal, well, not my personal profile, but on my Alfonso Quadra public page, business page. Good to see you this morning. I am so happy to be here. For those of you on Facebook, I am also live on YouTube as well. So make sure that if you have not subscribed to my channel, you subscribe. Love my coffee in the morning, and I love to stay hydrated. I already see a few of you on here on YouTube. Hey, if you can comment down below where you're joining us from. I'd love to see who you are as you guys are coming in. Also, as well in Facebook as well, if you have questions as well. Isabel, good morning, good morning. Nice. So, the subject matter for today, don't quit your day job. I know this is, I guess the title sometimes grabs people because it's, counterproductive when we're talking about building a business, building an empire, building freedom for yourself. And so allow me to explain. And I get this question all the time. Some of my students, I know that, I'm talking to someone, they make $180,000 a year, and they're like, I want to quit my job tomorrow, and I want to, start a restaurant chain or whatever it is that you want to do. Now, I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but you have to think things through. And if you're making a certain amount of money, like for example, $180,000 a year, and your lifestyle is supported by that income, you're going to have a hard time making that shift. And so the question is, how do you make a shift? How do you go from a sustainable income into like a business income or real estate or whatever it is that you want to do. For me, I'm a real estate investor, and I do this full time, right? So I do this full time. All 100% of my income comes from business and real estate, and so but don't look at what I'm doing now, right? It took me 25 years to get to where I am. And so when I talk to people, um, and they're like, "Oh, I want to leave my job," I'm always like, "Well, wait a minute, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let's think this through to make sure you do it at the right time." So when I say don't leave your day job, don't quit your day job, it means that you have to think it through, and there's a right time to let go of your day job. And so I want to share with you where this comes from. So a lot of you already know that a few years ago I started my youth foundation, and I think that the biggest gift that I could give the world is mindset. And you know everyone here knows, and all you have to do is Google lottery winners after 3 years. If you Google lottery winners after 3 years, you'll discover that a majority of lottery winners actually lose all of their money, and in fact they get into a worse position than they were before they won the lottery. And why is this? Because even though they received a lot of money, they did not change their mindset, and so their mindset is not it's not set up in order to manage this type of money, because they're very much consumers. And so, I believe in mindset. I believe in positivity. I believe in developing skill sets that can actually help you take action. And so, as a result, for me, I said, I have a dream that I want to bring this mindset to developing countries, specifically Latin America, where I'm from. I believe that some of our countries is just a matter of shifting mindset. And then I started to ask myself a simple question, like, why is it? Like, why can't people in my country just shift the mindset, and then everything will be all right? Well, here's the problem. Someone from a developing country, we're talking about someone with low economic means. When they leave their house in the morning, their focus is on survival. Like, how are they going to survive, right? How are they going to feed their family? What are they going to do, right? And what happens is that becomes a focus, and their intention is all based on that survival. So imagine, imagine a door, and you're holding a door. Beside that door, there is survival, bills, trying to keep the lights on, feeding your kids, starvation, war, whatever it is, right? And so you're holding your entire focus is on holding this door closed so nothing can come in. Think about that for just a moment, right? You're just holding the door, and your entire focus is on making sure you survive that day. And so try to shift your energy on to thinking about something else. Thinking about prosperity, creation, building. You can't, because all your focus is on survival, right? You have to feed your family. And so what happens for a lot of business people and new entrepreneurs is that we leave the day job, but we don't think it through on where we're going to get income in order to pay for our life expenses, like pay for our family, pay for putting food on the table. And so what happens is you become desperate, and the shift goes from creation and building an amazing company, and it moves towards survival, obviously, because we are slaves to these monthly bills that come in. And so some of you guys, your monthly bills almost match your income. And so I'm not saying don't quit your day job, and I'm gonna be honest with you, right? If you've had a job for a long time, for example, if you've had a job for the past 10 years, you are domesticated. For example, the difference between a lion in a zoo and a lion out in the wild. You put a lion that has grown up their entire life in a zoo, and you just throw them in the wild with no training, nothing, no skills. They're not going to survive, right? And so this is exactly what it is. If you have come accustomed to every single month money comes in, and every single month expenses are paid, you have to really, really put some thought into how are you going to pay your expenses. At the same time, how are you going to bring in new revenue and pay yourself, and then build the company. And so it's a bit of it's a balancing act, right? And this is the way I want you to look at it. When you start a business, it's like giving birth to a baby. Now, as a man, I have no idea how to give birth, but imagine you have your baby, right? And I have two daughters, two beautiful daughters, and when I look at them, I want to protect them, right? So I'm a father, I want to protect them. And so when you start a business, when you get into real estate, whenever you want to start something new, it's like an infant. It's like a baby. And so your job as the entrepreneur is to nurture that business like a mother, but you have to protect it like a father, right? And all of the nutrients, all of the food, everything you do in life is to feed this baby. So this baby eventually grows up and can feed you, essentially, right? So there's going to come a time where your baby can leave the nest, and the baby's going to produce enough for you. Okay, so how does this work? Hey, Wagon, what's going on? I see you. So how does this work? So when you essentially, when you leave your day job, okay, when you leave your day job, and you have to live out of your business, that means that every single the first money that comes in from your business, you are going to eat for yourself. You would never do that with your baby. You would never take food away from your baby to feed yourself. That would be ridiculous. And so this is what happens. When you leave your day job, you leave yourself vulnerable, and if you haven't fully made a plan on how exactly you're going to pay your expenses while you're building your business. This is why, and if you look at the statistics, the majority of businesses fail. And the reason is because people jump in too early. They try to figure it out, and at some point, at the end of the month, the bills are due. Or they're only going to be in business as long as their savings can help them. And so what I want to talk about today is a proper sequence of events. Now, is it possible that someone could get into business and quit their day job and then fully focus on the business and build that business to a point where it's like out of control? My friends, anything is possible in life, right? Anybody could, have a really good idea, and go ahead and build that idea and focus on that. But the question moving forward, like if you're going to be raising capital for a business, if you're going to be, if you're going to be doing anything, the money has to come from somewhere for you to survive in order to focus on that business. It's similar like university. When someone's going to university, they have a part-time job, right? But they're not going to have a full-time job and then try to, go to university, because there's just no time, right? And if it is, you're going to be extremely exhausted. So usually a student loan will include living expenses. So all you have to do is focus on your studies. And so you have to figure out where you're going to get the income in order for you to focus 100% of your time on your business. So I'm going to go through it on the chart back here and how that works. So usually, and let's just get to the chart. And if you have questions, please write them in your comments. I see a lot of you already watching live here on YouTube, and I see a lot of you guys. William, Jose, oh, what's going on, guys? Good to see everybody this morning. I see you guys are live on Facebook. Incredible. So I think you're gonna really enjoy a sequence of events, so you can quit your job. I'm not saying you're not going to be able to quit your job. Please don't get me wrong, but I want you to just acknowledge that you are a slave to your expenses. And so people say this to me all the time. Alfonso, you went right into business right away. You didn't have a job. And it's true. But I had also next to nothing expenses, right? So my cost of living was extremely low. And as you guys know, if you guys see behind me, I started a clothing store. And at one point, I had moved into the clothing store so we can take all that money and it can go right into the business. And so I had a certain amount of sacrifices. When I first opened my physical location, I was 19 years old. So I was able to sacrifice, But if you're like 30, 35, and you've for the last 15 years you have a job, most of the time your expenses match the income that comes in. And so when that income disappears, what are you going to do? Oh, I see a lot of you on here. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Let me see if I can get... If you have questions, just put them in the comment section. Also on YouTube as well. I'm going to go through this, guys. So don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job. Hold on to that day job for just a little bit longer. Figure out how you're going to get income. And now let's build an empire, because that's why we're here. We're here to talk about how to build an empire without trying to quit your day job. Okay, so let me just make sure we can, everybody can see this. You guys can see this. I got my coffee over here. Good morning, guys. It's going to be fun here this morning. Okay, so here's number one. And this is where a lot of people, hopefully you guys over here can see it. I know I'm centered up over here. Let me just try to get it in the right place. Okay. Here's number one, guys. Here's number one. You need to understand that you have to cover your basic needs. And so what are your basic needs? What are those needs, right? Like you got rent, you got mortgage, car payments, whatever that is, right? Now here is something, here's a statement that I hear all the time. I hear, you have to live within your means, okay? And in some ways, I kind of disagree with that statement. I believe you have to increase your means, increase your income, increase. Now, your basic needs should be covered, and you should probably review your income and expenses to see if things are making sense. And you might have to make some sacrifices. But you don't necessarily have to like move into a bachelor apartment and your entire family has to, be uncomfortable. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to put your family in such a bad state just to start a business, just because you want to follow your dream. You can follow your dream and also pay your bills and make sure your family can eat and and be comfortable. And so usually what happens is when you start off with, you have an income and then expenses, okay? Income and expenses. If your income grows, what happens in a household is that the expenses will grow, and usually, and I've mentored, you know, hundreds of people, where and I've sat down. I had a couple one time. They're making $300,000 a year, but they're spending 350. So that doesn't make sense. So you have to understand that your expenses will always match your income. Now, I'm not going to say live within your means. I'm going to say freeze your means for now. And now let's increase your income. So the difference now, you can redeploy that money into income producing assets, where now those assets, once you build up enough assets, you now can redeploy that money back into your business, and now build a business. You have freedom. When your passive income surpasses your expenses, this is called freedom. Okay, and that's the premise of the cash flow game. If you guys are out there playing that cash flow game. Now, when I was 21, I met a gentleman which ultimately became my first mentor, and he gave me three biggest pieces of advice that have served me my entire career. Okay, so the first one was, he said, Alfonso, it doesn't matter how you make your money. All that matters is what you do with your money, right? It doesn't matter how, all that matters is what. So if you are working at McDonald's, you can still end up wealthy. If you're working at McDonald's, you can end up wealthy. All you have to do is make sure that you are investing your money. Your money is going somewhere where it's working harder than you are, okay? If you hate your job, another job is not going to make it better. If you hate your job and, leaving your job to try to, chase a dream, it doesn't always work out that way, because your life is not set up for you to be free, right? You don't have the skill sets yet. You have to invest into yourself in order to build those skill sets so you can go out there into the wild. Every single day I come out into the wild and I know I'm going to eat, because I'm built that way. I'm not waiting. My life is not set up on a monthly, payments and this and that, the other thing. And so I'm like the lion in the jungle, the wild lion. Okay, some of you guys are stuck in a zoo, right? And you know that the food is going to show up. You don't have to go there and hunt. And so what happens is you become accustomed to that. And the transition is what I'm talking about. If you quit your day job and you don't have a proper plan, which there's nothing wrong with quitting your day job, but you have to have a proper plan in order to move forward. So we want to talk about covering your basic needs. So you need to think, how am I going to cover my basic needs? And here's the key. It cannot come from the business unless you either are borrowing money and you have a plan, a real strategic 6-month plan or a year plan where you can pour all of your time into this business. Because let me tell you, if you're worried about survival, it's going to be very difficult for you to now pivot and focus on building the business, because all of your attention goes now to mortgage, car payment, keeping the lights on, paying the water bill. And so that's why I say don't quit your day job just yet. Keep your day job. If you're making $150,000 a year or $100,000 a year or $50,000 a year, keep that, right? Keep that. This is why a gift was, with CERB here in Canada, the government with the stimulus packages, they were able to give a lot of the average person that was in need, they gave them some sort of income. So the question is, what did you do with that time, right? Did you leverage that time in order to build something? And sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So you want to make sure that you cover your basic needs. Now, I want you to review your expenses. Review your expenses, okay? So going back to my mentor, he told me 3 things. Here's number 1. It doesn't matter what, all that matters is, it doesn't matter how, all that matters is what. He also told me that that it doesn't matter how much money you actually have. All that matters is how much you can borrow, right? So leverage. So you can use leverage in order to build a business, hire people, and then still have your main gig, and depending on what that is. And then lastly, time. Time is the most valuable thing that we have. And so the richest people in the world, the most wealthiest people in the world understand how valuable time is, and they actually buy other people's time versus people that are in the 96%. They trade the most valuable asset, right? So if you're building a business, the key is to focus on the business. You don't necessarily need to be in the business, okay? And so if you're making $150,000 over here, and you can start a business, maybe you can pay someone, $35,000 a year or whatnot. That's probably a better move. You just have to be very careful on how you invest your time. Okay, so we want to review our expenses. Once we review our expenses, now remember, I don't want you to think about like living within your means. It's all about understanding what are your needs. What are your needs? Review those expenses. Maybe there's maybe there's spillage. Maybe there's you're spending on extra things that you don't need to spend on. So reduce those expenses. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to freeze expenses. Okay, you don't have to make sure it's like basic needs so your family's comfortable, but freeze them. Okay, don't think about getting a brand new car or getting a bigger house. All those things are going to bring you actually backwards. You want to make sure that you freeze those expenses so now you can increase your income, and now this income you can now redeploy it into income producing assets that are going to give you back your time, and now you can pour all your time back into your business. Now, here's what I want you to do. Stack money, not save. A lot of people talk about saving for a rainy day. You will have lots of rainy days. I want you to stack. You see, the biggest problem here is that a lot of you don't know how to stack money, because the money that comes in, it's gonna be redeployed into expenses. I want you to freeze your expenses, and whatever your job is, whatever the main gig, and we could be talking about a business, whatever your business is, figure out how to increase your income within that business. So now you have extra money to redeploy or stack the money, stack the money, so you can now use leverage. You can take money like 20,000, 30,000, like stack a 10,000 or 20,000, 30,000 and put it into something that's going to bring you back a return. So stack, not save. You see, saving is kind of like, okay, I'm going to put it under my pillow, and then the next 10 years, I'm going to, in case of a rainy day, you're going to have lots of rainy days. Now, once you stack this money, I want you to invest it into income producing assets. Right? Income producing assets. And so this could be real estate. This could be stocks that give out dividend. Here's the thing. Before you make any investment, make sure you get educated on what that looks like and how that works. And also, you could invest into businesses at this point, but you have to be leveraging someone else's time. Someone has to be in a position where they're going to be sacrificing that time. Now, a lot of people talk about the side hustle, okay? And I've had many videos before. I don't believe in the side hustle. I'm going to say do not do the side hustle thing, okay? Side hustles are a big distraction. The side hustle says that you are now giving your time to something that you're not going to. It's just short term, for example. So most people have their main gig, and then on the side they're like driving Uber I don't know, what other side things, delivering pizza or whatever it is. That side hustle. The side hustle would is going to take away time from building the main thing, right? And the main thing should be the business, the real estate, whatever it is that you want to do. And so the side hustle is confusing because we're watching all these internet videos, and people are talking about the side hustle. I got my side hustle, my side hustle. So the side hustle pretty much says that you have your main hustle plus your side hustle equals no time to build anything. Okay, no time to build anything because you're too focused on the side hustle and the main thing. So I want you to look at it like this. During the day, you're earning enough to make a living to pay your basic needs. You want to pay your basic needs and create a surplus, have a surplus, fix your expenses so there's a surplus, and then you can redeploy that surplus into stacking money in order to invest. Stacking money in order to invest. You see, they say, oh, you should have 10% of your income or whatever. You know what? I think it should be a lot more than 10%. You want to stack money so you can redeploy it and that money can come back to you. Remember what I told you before? If you're working at McDonald's, you can end up wealthy. But your money has to be working for you. And so here it is. The side hustle is a distraction. So use the main job to make a living while you use your extra time on building an empire, on building your fortune. So now you have 9 hours a day or 8 hours a day that you're making sure that the lights are on in your house, while extra time is now invested into building your empire. Okay, so the focus should be building the business. Building the business. Building the business. So now your focus goes to building, not side hustle. And some of these things could be just like mindset, right? And if you're selling something online or whatever, ask yourself, is this the main thing that I want to be doing, right? And so forget about the side hustle. Go use that time in order to build yourself. And a lot of you already know my story, like I started in business right away, but at some point in my 20s, I made a transition into real estate. Okay, so I was working 9 to 9, 7 days a week in my business, and then 9:01 to 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, I was working on my fortune, on my empire, on building my real estate business. And that's the sacrifices that I had to make. And so some of you are like, man, are you saying that I'm gonna work, 9 to 5, and then when I get home, I gotta now think about building my empire? Yes. You have, like when you get home, work on your empire. You have to make that sacrifice. And the beautiful thing about having your day job is that your basic needs are covered. And then 5:01 till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, you can now redeploy that time and build something significant. Build your empire, build your business, whatever it is. It could be you want to start a car business, you want to start a restaurant business, or it could be even real estate. Now, here's the key, and here's where everybody, I see a lot of you still on YouTube and Facebook, so I know this is the moment that you have been waiting for, okay? When the business now brings in enough income in order for the business to grow and pay yourself, now you can quit your job and put 100% of your time into the business. Once the business has grown, remember, the business at the very beginning is like a baby. You need to protect it like a father and nurture it like a mother. You would never take food from your baby to feed yourself. That would be ridiculous. And so you want to make sure you pour all of the income, all of the profits that come from that business back into the business. And at some point, it's going to be so ridiculous that the business will have enough revenue that it can pay you and your basic needs. Right? We're not talking about now you're buying a Ferrari, you're buying a big ass house. We're talking about that transition. How long is it going to take for the business to make enough income that it can pay you and also have enough income for the business to grow? And so that's the question. And so you don't want to quit. You don't want to quit too early, but you also don't want to quit too late, because the business is going to need you. But now when you can make that transition and you know that the income can give you the business can provide a living that pays your basic needs. Now you can put 100% of your time into the business, growing the business. And here's the key. Now we move to multiplying, and plus multiple streams. Multiple streams of income, okay? Multiple passive streams that do not affect the main business. So a lot of you guys, you've seen me, like I've had television shows, I'm on podcasts, I'm doing, I'm speaking, all of, wrote a book and all those things. All of the things that you see me do today are a result of me already building my main business. My life is more than covered by my main business. So right now, your focus should be covering your basic needs, making sure you have enough revenue so you can redeploy it into a business, making sure you manage that business so it's self-sustained, and at some point it could pay you and still have enough revenue to reinvest into the business. Once you can do that, you drop the job, and now you focus 100% of your time into that business, and then now the business should grow exponentially, and then you redeploy that into multiplying that same concept or doubling down on the business, but going into multiple streams of passive income. My friends, this is how you build your empire. Don't look at what other people are doing, like side hustles and podcast. All this stuff are distractions, and you have to protect your time. Remember what I told you guys from the beginning. Time is the most valuable asset that you have. Right now is the time to build. Right now is the time to build, and you don't have time to waste. I want you to if you have to rewatch this video, do it. And if you think you could leave your job, do it. Like, I'm not saying don't do it, but make sure that you know that your basic expenses are covered, or reduce your basic expenses so you can make a sacrifice and build the business. If you're young, this is the best time to do it, because you don't have a big family that you have to support or whatnot. And so, my good friends, did you guys enjoy this? I want to see comments. I want to see thumbs up. Thank you for your thumbs up. Wow. Thank you. I really, 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 really appreciate it if you enjoyed this morning. I want to hear your comments down below. Also on YouTube as well. Isabel, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Comment, guys. And, if there's any future subject matters that you want me to cover, let me know. Put it in the comment section. I want you to like. I want you to share this video. Whatever you want to do. Really good. Thank you. Yes, Kay says that she's gonna rewatch it. I'm glad you guys had the opportunity to connect with me this morning. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, and if you haven't, like, shame on you, but go ahead, go on YouTube, type in my name, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notified the next time I'm doing a video. And like always, Alfonso loves you, and we'll see you all at the top. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified the next time we're doing a video. And guess what? Like, share, dislike, I don't care! Let me see how that looks.